What's up, YouTube fans? Today I am excited to finally review this MP-33 Masterpiece Inferno figure. I luckily got this pretty quickly from the Chosen Prime. I've switched carriers. I'm not with TF Source anymore. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, they take forever to ship out for pre-orders. And this guy, I got this 2 days after the pre-order came in, and I looked on TF Source and it was still listed as a pre-order. Chosen Prime has already sent out these figures, so that's pretty awesome. So thanks to Chosen Prime for sending this out. Also, the Chosen Prime, if you did a pre-order with them, included this for free. So I paid $140, I think it was $139.99. And this was included. This is the little Optimus Prime figurine. We're going to take a look at that. I really think it's awesome already. I haven't even taken it out yet. But TF Source, they're charging another $10 just to get this thing, whereas just Chosen Prime, if you pre-order with them, they include this for free. So I did the same thing with Grapple that's coming out, the Masterpiece Grapple, because they have a miniature figure of Ultra Magnus. So you can't go wrong with that. I mean, you save $10, you get the extra. It's kind of cool, and they ship it right away. So I'm pretty happy about that. So let's take a quick look at the box. This is a different size box. This is not the standard box. It's like about twice the height of a Masterpiece car box, but it's also not quite as big as the, what did I say, Masterpiece Soundwave or the Seeker boxes. It's actually a little bit smaller than that. It's a little thinner and a little bit shorter. But yeah, you got a nice image here of the figure and the vehicle in robot mode. It is a Fuso T951. It's officially licensed from Mitsubishi. Let's see on the bottom here. Yeah, it doesn't really say anything about Mitsubishi down here, but I know for a fact that this is officially licensed by Fuso, who's owned by Mitsubishi. So on the side you got product shot in the vehicle mode, you got robot mode with the water effect, and then on the back you got a million different accessories and options. So you've got just the vehicle mode here with the ladder raised up. Looks like it doesn't turn there. The water effect attached to the ladder. You got a flip out little nozzle there. We got him with his gun mode, him with his nozzle and the water effect, him with his water cannon. Here you got him with his the hose that in one episode it attacked him. Here it's attacking him in this picture. Hopefully you can see that. Here you got him carrying Red Alert, and there's a special piece included just to carry Red Alert, which I found absolutely absurd that they included that piece. It's kind of cool, but and then here you have, this is really showing you that the ladder stores away inside his back. All of the previous Inferno, the third-party figures that have come out, they all hang off this back, so you got a little kibble. This one is nice and clean. It's tucked away, and if you look in the cartoon, you'll see he doesn't have a ladder hanging off his back. I'll put that up in the left corner here for you guys to see. He's got a clean back, so really nice recreation of the original cartoon. Then you also see you've got two different helmets and 4 different faces. I don't know if all the faces are compatible with both helmets, but basically you get 4 different faces, 2 different helmets. Very nice options here. And you got some shot with Optimus and Red Alert. So overall, a lot of stuff in this box. Let's get it open. Spend enough time on the box here. And one of the things that kind of shocked me, oh sorry, some of the faces fell down, is this thing really, a lot of space is taken up with the accessories. Not that I don't like the accessories, I like that they include accessories, I think that's cool, but there's just something about, you know, getting a box and realizing that most of the box is accessories, right? It's only a little part here is actually the figure. Everything's falling out here, so let's take it all out. So you got the gun, you've got the hose here, you got the little These are these little arm reader things. You've got the little attachment piece for red alert. Kind of cool. I love that they gave you 2 different helmets. I really think that's cool. You've got this one that I actually think this is more cartoon accurate. Again, I'll put a picture up here from the cartoon just to kind of show it off. I think this is the more cartoon accurate one, but I can't remember. You also get the 3 different faces here. You got kind of the yelling face, you've got the straight face, and you got kind of a smirking face. And then obviously you got a face on the figure in the other helmet. You have the white pearlescent hose attachment, which is basically so you can get a cartoon accurate. So you got the white pearlescent front and hose attachment if you wanted a more cartoon accurate version versus a more vehicle accurate. And you got the water effect here. Pretty nice looking. Actually, it's in person, it looks a lot better than it does on camera. It looks kind of like a little bit of ice and water. I mean, it's pretty cool. You have his gun. Would have been nice if they included some paint details here. It's very just a plain gray. I don't even think it's painted, but it's pretty cool. It's a new gun. We haven't had one like this before. And then lastly, you have the hose, which is in a little plastic baggie. I guess we can take it out here. And it does kind of open up here. And it has little teeth in there to simulate the time that the hose attacked him in the picture that's on the back of the box. I don't know. I feel like this is kind of overboard here, but they included it, so that's nice. And then, of course, finally, you have the figure. And it comes packaged in vehicle mode. First off, it's got nice heft to it. It's pretty beefy, pretty chunky. I like the feel. It feels like there's die-cast in here. Actually, it's hard to tell, but some of this feels like die-cast. I don't know yet. But right away, I love the way this looks. It's got the little turn signals here. Nice chrome bumper. I do wish they included the chromed out back plates here, the diamond plating. That would have been cool. But overall, very nice looking right out of the box. It rolls great. Looks good. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's just overall very good feel. It is a little small for my taste. That's one issue I was concerned about before I got this, and now that I have it, it does feel a little small. Let's do a quick comparison here with a couple other figures. So let's take Optimus Prime. I just got the MP-10B here, but I mean, he looks a little small, and I don't know if this is accurate or not in terms of scale. I tried to look up this Fuso T951 in Google. There's a couple images. I'll put one up in the corner over here, but it looks like a full-size fire truck. Okay, so now I'm seeing that this wheel is it. Oh, okay. Sorry. This was a little mistransformed. It was kind of set off to the back here. Yeah, now it's fixed. All right. Anyway, lengthwise, he is longer than the cab of Optimus Prime, but it just feels like it's a little small compared to Optimus. And then when you have him next to maybe a smaller vehicle like this, that looks more accurate. We'll also get Blue Streak in here, and that also looks pretty accurate. I mean, as far as size, he's a little small. He's just a tiny bit small for my taste. I think he should be a little bit bigger, especially when you compare it to the real vehicle that this guy was. But it's okay, because when he transforms into robot mode, it does really fit the cartoon in terms of size, accuracy. One thing I forgot was the accessories here. You get a really nice trading collector's card here. Let's get this tape off. Really nice looking image here on the collector's card. I love that. Kind of jumping into action there, and then you have the product shots there. Wow, he's pretty weak over here. I forgot what that is in there too. But very nice card. I like that. And a gigantic manual. It's pretty cool. It's got a nice image, cartoon-based image there. So I'll just scroll up here. So you get nice cartoon image here. You've got an image of Inferno with his extinguisher rifle, is what they call it. You got his communicators on his arms. This is a shot of him with the communicator. Got another one for a grill for Alert in the episode where he carried Red Alert when Red Alert was being a baby and couldn't walk. Then you got him with the fire hose where it was attacking him, and I find that pretty weird, but they included that. So some nice cartoon shots on there. Really cool. This paper is really thick compared to usual. I don't remember it being this thick, but I feel like it wants to separate, but it's just one piece. Yeah, so you get some nice product shots here. On the back, you get the instructions. I'm not going to go over these. And it tells you about all the accessories here. You've got the fire hose, white barrel, extinguisher rifle, grill for Red Alert, grill which is anime accurate. You got the water effect. You got alternate head, and then 3 alternate faces, and the 2 communicators. So overall, very nice manual. Really thick paper. It's different than what they've usually done. I'm surprised that they included this kind of paper. You also get stickers like this here, and that's in case you want the cartoon accurate image or emblem. You can put that on top, or vice versa if you want the original Autobot symbol but you don't want the cartoon accurate, you can put it on top of this, so you can kind of mix and match what you want. I like this one right here the way it is, so I'm probably going to leave that. You also get these fire department ones, and I'm not really sure where those go. Let's take a quick look here. They tell you, oh, here you go. Okay, so here's the sticker application. Basically, it's on the right and left side of his doors in vehicle mode. That's where the 2 stickers go. I actually kind of like that. I think it breaks it up a little bit. It's a little plain on the sides. There's not really anything on it. They included 2 sets, so I don't know if there's any difference. They look the same to me. Yeah, I can't tell the difference between these 2. So they only show you 2 spots to put it, but maybe there's extra just in case you screw up and you want to put it. I will be putting those on because I think it's pretty cool. But that's it for accessories. Let's take a look at the vehicle mode and kind of the features here. So you got quite a bit here. First of all, let's take a look at the ladder. It has a nice, very nice ratcheting feature here. It's pretty stiff, so it's not going to fall down. And these do extend. That's about all it goes. That's pretty much all you get. I looked this up on the internet to see what did Inferno look like, and in the cartoon, that's as far as his ladder went. It didn't go any further than this. So this is actually pretty much screen accurate the way it is. People might argue that the real ladder is going to be longer, because what the heck are you going to do with this short ladder? But in the cartoon, that's how it was. This is kind of annoying. This sort of seems to come apart. Uh-oh. So you kind of got to tab that in there. So you get this little flip out nozzle here. Yeah, this is actually kind of irritating right here. You gotta, it snaps in, but it's not that secure. Anyway, you got this nozzle on the end. It's just painted silver. Nothing special, but what you can do is attach the water effect to it. And that looks kind of cool. can have him, putting out a fire. I wish it folded flat. That would actually be nice if it came all the way down and folded flat. And I believe this is the way the water effect should attach. So it just looks a little weird, the water's splashing up like that. Maybe you have it down like that. But that's cool that they include that. I won't be using that. You can also store the gun in vehicle mode. There's like basically a little slot right there to stick the gun. Right in there. Kind of just stick it in there. And alright, so this has come out again, and obviously this is an issue now, where this does not want to stay. It just has two little tabs. It looks like it's not a perfect fit, so it's going to keep coming out. That's kind of irritating. So if you close this up all the way, that's about as small as it goes. You can pull that back out. Oh, it's easy to say you can pull it back out. You can kind of use your fingernail to pop it and then do that. Yeah. And once you stick it in there, it's pretty hard to get out. So you want to make sure you don't push it in all the way, because once you push it in, it's pretty hard to get out of there. I guess you can do that. You can open it up. There you go. So you can kind of fold this flat and the gun sits right underneath. I like that. I like that it looks like part of the vehicle, so I dig that. I think that's a good design. The truck itself has two sirens here, red. I kind of wish these were chromed. They should have matched here. I think that would have given a little bit more accents. You have two clear lights here, warning lights, and they look good. On the side, you've got a piece of plastic that's not painted. This is a molded white hose here. You also have the truck stops where you can kind of pull it out. Oops. You can pull it out. There you go. And then pull down on this. And then it looks like you kind of stabilize the truck. I think these are stabilizers, but if you pull too hard, you kind of end up pulling the whole arm out. So you kind of have to be careful there. But yeah, these do come out. They are kind of a pearlescent white. Off-white there, and they do look good. I like that they included that. It would have been better if it was just straight white. I don't know why they made it pearlescent. Other details, you got nice painted rims here and painted silver for the hubcap. That's about it for details on this guy. So let's take a look at the front face. We're going to put on the cartoon accurate face here, and these are pretty tight because it's a painted piece, so paint tends to stick a little bit. But you can take this guy, stick it on here, and I don't like that, but some people might like that because it's more cartoon accurate. That is the front. Oh, sorry about that. That is the front face for the cartoon accurate version. It just is very plain. I definitely prefer the chrome. This is more realistic. The real Fuso truck actually says Fuso right here. Obviously, they replaced that with the Autobot logo, but this is just too far off from the real truck for me. It just looks too smooth and too plain. I'm not a huge fan of that, to be honest. And obviously you have this front too, but it doesn't make much sense in vehicle mode because one, it'll hit the floor, but two, you can't really carry red alert like that. So we'll put the regular front back on. And it does tab in there. You just got to kind of push it on. And there you go. I definitely prefer this one over the other one. Yeah, so there you go. There's an Inferno in vehicle mode. There's a couple other accessories that don't really factor in vehicle mode. so you can't really do anything with them. So we will get this guy transformed into robot mode, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we're back from transforming, and this guy is just a marvel of engineering. You know, as I was transforming it, I thought, how is this going to come together? It just really didn't seem like it was gonna come together like this, but when I was done, amazing little details that they put into this guy. Like, here's an example. This comes like that in robot mode, these little things, but in order to make it look centered, they put in a little piece that shifts out. Little details like that. And then this side piece here, this was kind of up here in vehicle mode, and it kind of shifts down. It fills in the gap perfectly, and it looks marvelous. I mean, it's really an amazing engineering on this figure. Everything locks into place. It looks good for one. It's got really good look. The legs are a little chunky for my taste, but if you look at the G1 cartoon, this is pretty accurate. The other figures, the MMC and Make Toys, are totally different. Make Toys is real chunky, real kind of blocky, and the MMC kind of got a much thinner, more athletic look. So I kind of like this guy. I appreciate the way they made it. Now we'll bring in Optimus Prime here for a quick comparison on size. I think that's just a really good size there. He comes up to about his shoulder, top of his head. So yeah, right size in robot mode. We're bringing in another character here. We got Masterpiece Wheeljack here. And again, just about the right size. Now let's bring in the guy himself. Masterpiece Red Alert. Get these other guys out of here. And these two really do look good together. By the way, this is a KO, so if he's a little off, just recognize that he's a KO. But in terms of looks, these guys do fit together. I don't have the anime accurate version. This is the original version. I am not going to pay another, whatever it was, $60 or $70 for the anime accurate version of Red Alert. But great pair. These guys look good together. I think they made a good choice here. And we'll bring him back in a little bit just to show off the little gimmick here. But really, in terms of robot mode, this guy, very well executed. Let's go over articulation. So lots and lots of ratchets on this guy. So the head is on a swivel. The whole assembly swivels. The way this comes together in the transformation, it's really nice. So it's kind of in a box. His head is in a box, but you also get tilt and swivel on this. This is on a ball joint, so you get tons of motion. You can do a lot of really cool stuff with this head sculpt. You do have some articulation here on the extra hose here, and I like that they included that. That really looks cool. I like that it's chrome also. The wings, the ear wings, or whatever you want to call them, are also can be kind of articulated any way you want. This one, the hose kind of comes down on top of it, so you kind of have to lift that up, and then you can move this around wherever you want. But it has to be moved out of the way in order to adjust the wing. But you can kind of get, you know, an angled look like that, or you can have it straight. I'll probably have it like that, where it's just a little bit angled back. So yeah, you really get a lot. And now for the head, you just kind of pull outwards, and you can take the helmet off. And there's actually two different sets of faces. I want to show that because I haven't really been made clear to me in the other reviews. So you can tell by the eyebrows. So you see how this one's got this little extra edge of eyebrow. this only fits with this helmet. Whereas the one without the eyebrows, like that, will fit with this helmet. So you really have a total of 4 options, not 4 times 2. Because, you have 2 helmets and 4 faces. So you get this screaming face or the straight face with this, with this helmet. And then you get the, again, straight face and kind of a laughing face or a happy face with this helmet. Those are the 4 options you get. You can't really mix and match these things. But I love that they included this helmet. I think you're supposed to mount it from the front. There you go. And then you kind of push the head back in. It's so cool that it just has a totally different look when you switch the helmet from this to this. I actually like this one a little bit better. I mean, I know this looks cool too. Nice ears there. The yellow paint on here is a little washed out. They could have used maybe one more coat on there, especially on this one here. You can tell it's a little light. But it looks freaking awesome. I really think they did a great job with these head sculpts. So let's take a look. So you got this one here with what I consider the cartoon accurate head. This is a little of an issue. This thing kind of wants to pop up. It tabs in, but it's not that secure. So that was the laughing face. We'll switch to the straight face here. There's the normal face. And put this back on. And that looks good too. It's just very regular. It really looks, it looks good, but it looks more like a human face, and I like the other one because it kind of reminds me of the episodes where, he was always a happy kind of guy. So then we'll go to these other faces here with the stretched out eyebrows. So put that on, and then you switch to this alternate head here. I think it comes packaged with this head, so this is the one you get. And that's fine. Nothing exciting there. I probably wouldn't use this one. Oh, by the way, the paint on here is a pearlescent white with a light blue eyes. It's not these aren't light piped. It's just painted blue, and it's a good paint. It looks good. I don't think they needed light piping. And I find this one to be weird. I'm not a huge fan of this screaming face. It just looks strange to me. I don't know what it is. So I will probably be displaying this guy with the happy face, with the alternate helmet. That's my favorite one. So I'll stick with that. But I love that they give you all these options, so many choices for so many different people that like different things. It's really, Takara, didn't need to include all this extra stuff. So let's throw all the accessories here. So we went through the faces and the head sculpts. Now let's take a look at the front pieces here. And this is kind of tough to get off. You got to use your fingernails. It's painted, so the paint on here kind of, makes it real tight. And I'm glad it's tight. I'm glad it's not loose, but you just gotta be aware of that. One thing I don't like about this anime accurate one is it doesn't have these side blinkers, and it doesn't have windshield wipers. To me, that's what makes this more realistic as a Fuso T951. You gotta have something that makes it look like a vehicle. But for those that like the anime accurate one, there's that. You get the classic look there, and then you can also switch out his water cannon here. This is a nice chrome, actually. It's plastic, but it's very nicely chromed. It's very smooth. You can throw this one on here. It's just a 2-prong system there. You just kind of push the 2 prongs on. Easier said than done. Huh. There you go. I guess it only fits one way. And now you got the pearlescent water cannon, pearlescent front fascia, and then which matches these little shoulder pieces here, and matches these white pearlescent truck stops. So altogether, this look is nice for those that like the screen accurate. One thing I forgot to mention in vehicle mode, these are not rubber, they're plastic. I like rubber. I know a lot of people don't. I live in New York, and I don't have any issue with the rubber rotting. I have my original G1 Optimus Prime. It's never rotted. I don't know why that happens to people, but I don't have that issue. So I like this. I like that when they're rubber. I'm not really a huge fan of the plastic because you get this kind of missing, it's not a complete solid plastic. But still looks great because they painted it well. So this look is great if for those that like anime accurate, but it's not for me. You also get this. So let me talk about this for a second. I like that they're including things like this for fans that really want to recreate scenes. But in the end, what you have to think about is you're paying. You have to pay for these things. They don't come for free. So the way this works is the little light bar here fits right into the hole there on the bottom of his carrying piece here, and then you kind of stick his leg up here. So it fits pretty securely in there. You can kind of get whatever look you want there. And he holds him pretty good. He's got some nice ratchet joints. You kind of got to lean him back a little bit to get it to hold, but it holds just fine. So you probably want to get him to look like he's not really doing anything. But there you go. So you got him holding him. You can move his arms into place, and it looks good. And I appreciate that they include this kind of stuff, but I really don't want to pay for this. You're definitely paying when you pay for this figure. The price of these little accessories are included. They're not going to give it to you for free. So I would have rather they threw in something else or lowered the price of this guy than to include something like this, because I'm definitely not going to display it this way. I mean, it's cool and everything, but it's just I don't display my figures like this in original G1 cartoon scenes. I display them in, they're shooting a gun or they're running or they're making a pose, but each character is posed individually. I don't pose them holding another character. The only character I've posed like that is Devastator, and that's because he's gigantic and he can hold people by the ankles. So again, appreciated feature, but totally unnecessary and extra cost that I don't think we needed to pay. But for those that like it, there you go. You get that. Now you do get the water effect here. So you can have him shooting. Oop. Sorry guys, just gonna make an adjustment here. You can have him shooting water. I'm terrible at posing on camera, so I'm sorry if this is kind of crappy, but there you go. There's his water effect. Oh, let's get his chest back on here. You know what? I'll leave this on since it matches. So there he is with his water effect. It looks good. I like that. I'd probably use that. That's an accessory I could use. That's something that's useful to me. It provides, it's probably not too high cost, just one piece of plastic, and it has a lot of utility. You can use it in robot mode and vehicle mode. It really, it's not evoking one scene from one episode of the cartoon. It's more than just that. So I like that. You also have the handgun here, or the rifle. Actually, don't know what it's called. I think it's a rifle. I'll check that. So same kind of thing as all the other masterpieces. Got a little tab. You get the thing into his hand, and you stick the tab in. Let's see. It's pretty tight. There we go. It fits. It fits just fine. You just gotta get in at the right angle, because the hand kind of gets in the way because you got this extra little lip here, so you got to get the hand by this little extra lip. But once you get in there, I love the look at that. I think it's a really nice extra gun. I'd probably keep displayed with that. So great accessories with this guy. Really everything you could possibly want in an Inferno figure. I feel like he came with more than even the MMC and the Make Toys version. He just came with so much stuff, you know. Hey guys, I did forget to show this off here. This is the communicator. You can kind of position him so he's looking at it. I don't know if I really get anything out of this. There's nothing even on the communicator. It's just a blank piece of gray plastic that fits in here. I mean, it's okay, but I don't know. This doesn't really do anything for me. It's just a little piece of plastic sticking on his arms. I guess you could, you know, pretend it's something else and then have one on each. Well, you can have one on each side, maybe, and pretend that it's some kind of weapon. I don't know, but it's kind of silly. I don't really like these. I mean, they do match the color of the gun and his other gray parts, but again, I'm not really seeing any value in that thing. The other thing I wanted to cover was the hose. It's an accessory that you can make use of if you really feel like recreating that scene, but it doesn't really plug in anywhere, so that's kind of the issue with it. Like, maybe if this plugged in somewhere, like on his hand or something, you can take this off, and you know, it doesn't really go anywhere. So I guess you could stick it somewhere, but this part you can kind of stick in his hand, and it does go in there. So you can pretend like he's putting out a fire, but I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this thing. I don't know what the really what the use is on this one. You know, how much value there is on this thing. You can kind of have it like that, where you have him holding the hose in one hand. I think that's what the promo showed. It showed him holding the hose kind of off in the distance, and then he was gonna spray. But again, really, do you need this? I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me. I'm not a fan of this hose thing. Yeah. Kind of a useless accessory for me. Again, this is another thing that a little bit that bothers me about this figure is some of the extras are not necessary and kind of feel like you're paying extra. And this is just a little piece of plastic with a piece of rubber hose on it, and you probably paid, you know, $5 for this thing. But they just built it in the cost, and you know, I kind of wish you had the option of saying, yeah, I just want the figure and the faces, and I don't want anything else. But you don't get that option, so you end up paying for this. And it's all right. It's not my favorite. I wouldn't really use it in my display. But to each his own. If you like it, have at it and display it. But that is it for the accessories. So let's go over articulation with this guy. He's really very, very well articulated. So you've got a nice ratcheted butterfly joint there. You've got the rotation that's also ratcheted. So you can kind of get almost anything on this arm here. For elbow, you've got not quite a double joint, but you get more than 90-degree bend there. And then let's take out his hand for the sake of demonstrating, since we didn't go into that. So you can open up his hand here, and I was off camera there. You open it up like that. You flip this in. Okay, so this has an extra little bend to get it past 90 degrees, and then you can roll this out. So then it's fine. So you just got to push it past where you think it would go. It actually goes more than 90. Most of the time you think that's all it goes, but it actually goes way all the way there. So push it all the way out, roll this out, push that back in, and then you have your, oops. By the way, this does peg in very nicely. There's a hole there, which it has a double use. It's got a screw in it, but then it also fits into a peg there. Very, very nice design. The reuse of the screw hole as a peg, or as a peg hole. But it does fit in there. It's nice and secure. The whole figure is secure. It's very, very well designed. But there you are with the hand. It has a rotation at the wrist. You get a single pin joint at one knuckle. That's really it for the hand. I don't think you need any more than that. I'm not a huge fan of the, all 5 fingers being articulated. It makes it very hard to transform. So that's about it for the arms. And you have a nice waist swivel. You can actually get it all the way around. It does hit a little bit, so you kind of gotta get it around, but you can go all the way around. Let's get him kind of fixed up here. There you go. So his leg, it does swivel all the way up here, 90 degrees, going back pretty much all the way. It does kind of get hindered here because you're hitting, this piece is hitting there. So that's about all you can get. You could lift this up and then you get a little extra, but I don't think that's necessary. You do get a thigh swivel. You get a nice, everything is ratcheted here. This is excellent. Very, very tight, clicky ratchets. I love the way that they designed that. You also get a ratcheted ankle tilt. That's awesome. And then you get ankle swivel here. That's not ratcheted, but still great movement. You can get some really wide stances with this because of that extra joints there. So that's about it for articulation. I think I covered the head and the ears. That's it. Really, really well done. Really impressed with this effort by Takara. I'll be getting the MMC's road crane, which is essentially a remilled of their not masterpiece Inferno, and I'll do a little comparison video just to show you guys kind of some of the differences and how they stack up next to each other. But I have to say I really, really like this guy. Now let's get rid of this. I hate this. I don't know why people like the grill that's not chrome. I don't get it. I love when things are, more accurate to actual vehicles. And I love that this is officially licensed. That makes it even better for me. Something about the fact that they've designed this to look like the original vehicle really gets me. Yeah, this is the look for me. I definitely like the chrome. This makes it stand out. It matches with this piece up here. You don't get a secondary hose here on this guy, so you're stuck with the chrome. So if you want these to match, you got to get the chrome piece on. This is a little bit loose, the swivel, but then again it hits, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, so I highly recommend this. This is probably one of my favorite figures from Takara, other than Masterpiece Optimus Prime and maybe Masterpiece Soundwave. I think this is one of the best figures they've made, just in terms of playability, features, the engineering. Let me just show you something here. These wheels. Oh, okay, that's another thing. So these wheels are originally right here, right? So you take them and they come out at so they not only do they bend, but they also have a swivel here, and then you kind of, when you push it in and tab it in here on the side, not only does it hide the wheel away, it locks the whole torso into place, and then, just for completeness, they included this. Why? To cover up, his side here, so it looked complete. that is attention to detail. You know, I think they just went above and beyond on that. They didn't need to include that right there. That's something that only Takara would include something like that. That's just to make it look complete. And this guy, you know, all around is really well done. A clean back, no ladder here. It's all folded up inside of here, which is, to me, is an engineering marvel. I can't believe they figured out how to get the ladder to fold up and go inside here. I mean, remember how big it was in vehicle mode, and somehow it fits in there. Yeah, so really, I'm just thoroughly impressed with this guy. And I know, you know, I don't want to sound like a Takara fanboy, but this really is one of the best figures they've ever made. They've upped their game. They have to, right? They had to compete with MMC and with Make Toys and with Fan Toys and everybody that's making this guy. There's a ton of Infernos out there, and you know they got to compete. I think X Transbots has one too. So this was perfectly timed. You know, it came right after a couple of the releases came out, and I think this blows those other guys out of the water in terms of cartoon accuracy and engineering. Just amazing. So let's take a quick look at this guy. Haven't even opened it yet. I really like that Chosen Prime includes this. They're not a sponsor, by the way. I just like the way they do business. I pre-ordered from them and they included this for free. Whereas some of the other resellers, you had to pay extra. These guys included for free. So well done, Chosen Prime. I will do business with you again. And you've got this metal figurine. It is so cool. It doesn't move or anything, but it's a solid metal figure. It's really quite heavy. It feels like lead. But just so cool. You know, the box says Hasbro on it. It doesn't say Takara. And it also says not for sale. So I guess you can't sell this individually, but it's numbered. Number 1, Optimus Prime, Hasbro, Transformers, ages 15 plus. That's pretty crazy. You can't play with this until you're 15. That's pretty nuts. But yeah, he comes with his blaster, and it's a very, very nice mold of Optimus Prime. Really detailed, even down to, you know, little panel lines, stuff like that. What's odd is he doesn't have a Autobot logo on him, so that's kind of strange. Let's see if we can get it a little closer. Yeah, my zoom isn't great on this camera. Sorry, guys. I'm getting a new camera for Christmas, and that's when you'll be getting, not only you'll be getting HD, you'll get full HD. You'll also get really crisp zoom, so I can zoom in on things like this. Unfortunately, my zoom on this camera is not great, so you don't get much. But that's it, guys. This is really, I love this thing. I'm probably going to keep it in the package just as a collector's item, but really quite cool. Quite a cool extra. This is probably the coolest extra I've seen with a Takara Masterpiece figure. You know, they were including those coins. Maybe they're moving away from the coin now and they're going to these. I love that they're going to these because I wasn't really a big fan of the coins. It didn't really do anything for me. With this is awesome. I can put this on a display. I can include this. I have other little figurines like this for Star Wars. I can include this with that. Really awesome. So that's it, guys. I will be doing another review. I'll probably post it within a day or two of posting this one. It's going to be of Hasbro's Titan Returns Rewind. I figure that goes with the Titan Returns blaster. Also, I'm going to be doing a special review of my beer area for those that are interested. So the rest of this video is going to be that beer review area. So if you're not interested in that, then you can move on to the next video. Alright guys, we're going to start off with my beer fridge. This is all the different breweries that I've been to. Actually, not been to, but I've had beer at different festivals, stuff like that. This is actually a kegerator, so inside, if you can see that, I've got a keg hooked up to a CO2 tank, and also got some beer stored in there. And then that kind of goes through here, and it's attached to tubes that go to taps. This is actually originally a wine fridge that I converted into a kegerator. So this compressor doesn't get too cold, but it's cold enough for beer. So on the outside, these are the taps here. These are chalk, so I can write on these whatever the beer is. And same over here, I have another tap for a second line if I ever tap a second keg there. This is just a little bottle opener from Goose Island, really good brewery. And that's really it for the kegerator. I got some more breweries over here. There is actually an Oktoberfest on here right now. It's a barrel-aged Oktoberfest, really good, came out really good. It's a beer that I made, and I wanted to just try barrel aging something, so for the first time ever I made a barrel-aged Oktoberfest. It looks like the writing got written off here. Then we'll take a look at my kind of beer collection here. These are beers that I've had over the years that are really some of my favorites. You've got Firestone, Southern Tier, one of the best breweries, has some of the best really one-off beers. You got these Omegang. These were all the Game of Thrones beers that they came out with. They were pretty cool. And then down here you got some stouts and some really dark, heavy beers. This is one of the best IPAs in the world, Pliny the Elder. This is from Russian River. You can't even buy it anywhere. You gotta actually go to the brewery. Bourbon County, some of the best stouts, bourbon barrel-aged stouts that you can get. Here's some more bourbon barrel-aged stouts. Barista, again, one of the best Belgian beers here. You got Breakfast Stout, Founders, one of the best breweries. And of course, Heady Topper, one of the best IPAs. Here you got my glass collection, shot glasses. I don't really use these anymore. Tons of beer glasses. I got Korsendock, Duval, Chimay, Omegang, Hooters. Just a bunch of glasses, stuff like that. And that's about it, guys. So let me know what you think. This is my beer area review and kegerator.